our Groundskeeper chat series. I am your host, Meg Kruger, and today I am joined by Trey Altman. He is the facilities maintenance director of Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, down there in Florida, at least down there for us here in Ohio.
Yep.
So, this is Trey's first time on the Groundskeeper chat. We're excited to welcome him, get his turf origin story, but we're also going to talk a little bit about the quote unquote off season he's had as we're ramping up and well on our way into football season. But Trey, welcome.
Thank you.
We pressed record and we joined this meeting and we already got started. And I was like, hold on. We need to we need to do the official intro before I get too ahead of myself.
Yep.
Because as I mentioned, I was looking at your social profile and I think I even saw like people commenting on some of your posts like, oh, what an off season you guys are having, and
Yep.
how comical that is. Because you've had anything but what I think people would have, referenced to as an off season.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
so
been
I'm
crazy
really
this year.
excited to get into that and hear all about, what the last year has looked like for you guys. But before we start any groundskeeper chat, we like to
Mhm.
start right at the beginning. So your turf origin story, how did this career become even an option for you? When did it really come on your radar?
So originally, I was actually going to school for engineering,
Okay.
um, and always loved being in sports. Played sports growing up, as most grounds guys do, and then got into like 2 years of engineering school in college, and I was like, this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Found out that you can make a career with working on athletic fields
Mhm.
and managing grounds, and looked into that and found a the community college nearby where I grew up in Pinehurst actually has a landscape gardening and a turf program. The
Okay,
turf
very
program
cool.
is strictly geared towards golf courses.
Yep.
I always knew that I wanted to do sports turf, so I did the landscape gardening program, took all the same turf classes that the golf guys did. I was just able to do an internship at sports fields.
Very cool.
So after that, I actually got my internship working at NC State University.
Okay.
And from there, got hired full time, worked my way up just from a grounds staff to became the assistant the last 2 years I was there. I was there total 5.5 years.
Okay.
Um, Left there and for more of a supervisory position in Parks and Rec and to kind of get more home times.
Yeah,
College athletics can be brutal.
definitely.
And did the Parks and Rec thing for a little bit. Um, then got the opportunity to be a head groundskeeper in minor league baseball
Okay.
with the Augusta Green Jackets down in Augusta, Georgia.
Very cool.
Um, was there for the last season at the old stadium and the first season at the new stadium.
Very cool.
And my wife actually grew up in Florida, always wanted to move back. So found a job working with Parks and Rec again down in Florida. Stayed there for a little bit with Sarasota County, and then went and worked with a field builder with STG Fields.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Traveled around as a regional construction manager and a grow-in manager for fields. So we did the Austin FC, their new stadium. We built that one.
Okay, very cool.
Columbus Crew's new stadium and redid their practice facilities. I grew all those fields in. Um, Rochester Red Wings did
Very
some of
cool.
that stuff, so kind of moved around a lot from there. And then traveling got a little much,
Yep.
so found a more of a local job working on a course as kind of a stopgap in between jobs. And this position, the job opened up with Tampa Sports Authority here at the stadium, and started as the coordinator. And sadly, our head guy that was here had some health issues, and they moved me into the manager position in the
Okay.
last year.
Very cool. And so you didn't have any overlap with Mr. Wayne Ward.
No, Wayne was gone So when Wayne left, his assistant became the new head
Okay.
guy, and
Okay.
then they hired me. So I
Very
know Wayne, but I
You
didn't
know
have
of
him.
well, yes, he's a living legend. I'm sure you can't miss him. And I told you right before we started recording, like anytime I say Raymond James, I say it in a Wayne Ward voice in
Oh,
my
yeah.
head.
Yep.
And so very cool that you had the building the field in because the Tampa Bay Raymond James Stadium, they were one of the first to be doing the whole sod, growing grass on plastic, doing sod mid-season. So for you to kind of have that growing experience, I'm sure it
Yep.
really played a role in your position that you're now in.
Yeah, it's definitely helped out a lot. I mean, even just this past week, we had a concert on August the 2nd and then played a NFL game on August the 8th.
Yes,
Okay.
wild.
Was eighth, ninth? Ninth, sorry. It's all
Nice.
running together. So as soon as the concert moved out Monday, we did a full removal, laser grade, and laid sod. So I knew coming in like what needs to take place to do all that type of stuff. So that
Yeah.
has helped out quite a bit.
And so you did have some overlap potentially with Weston Appenfeller down in Austin FC.
Yeah, so Weston was the head groundskeeper when we were building that stadium there. Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we sometimes have folks that like Wayne who, his career started and ended in Tampa. Like his entire career was with the Buccaneers. But more often do we find people like you where it's like one stop here, then I tried Parks and Recs, then I, took a little stint in golf, then I was on the commercial side, then I went back to sports turf. What do you really like, what have you found across the board in all those positions? What's like the consistent thing that has kept you in this industry?
Um, I enjoy the challenge of it.
Mhm.
It's your We just recently had a group come out of high school age kids, and it's supposed to be like a career day thing that we had. And
Okay.
one of the things I brought up with them is this job, if you're into math,
Hmm.
you do math all the time. If you are into science, you're dealing with science of pesticides, fertilizers, the botany side of plants.
Yeah.
And then if you like art, we get to paint the field and mow all kinds of fun stuff in it. So I get to do a lot of different things
Yeah.
that are really interesting. And then just the challenge of it, even like this past week, like I said, going from a concert to a NFL game in 7 days is pretty challenging. And I enjoy doing that type of thing and working under the pressure. And also, I mean, it's kind of cool. Not a lot of people get to say that, millions of people see what they do on television every week, which
Yeah.
is kind of a little added bonus as well.
Well, definitely, especially as a sports lover or just somebody who is tapped into the culture of our, like,
Mhm.
of our country, really. Like, just being on the sidelines for some of those huge events and those
Yep.
huge cultural moments is such a unique position that people don't think like, oh, that would get me that front row seat or that
Yep.
behind the scenes pass. And so it's kind of the best kept secret that we are trying our best to get out there so people know like, hey, this is an option for you. And that's the thing, like it could be the fact that you love sports or that you love art and creativity or you love that math and science I mean you just don't want to be sitting at a desk all day. Like there's so many different entry points in this industry. And also it really your career is a testament of that. If you hate one element of it, or if you feel like you're getting burned out, or, just life happens and the family is taking you elsewhere, you will find your little pocket really
Absolutely.
all across the world. The options are limitless.
Yeah. And even with us too, with the amount of concerts they were having, I mean, not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but I got 3 days of Taylor Swift
Wild.
where we worked those concerts, so I was down on the floor being able to watch it. Metallica came this year, which I am a big fan of Metallica, so that was pretty awesome to get to see. So we're here for all those events, and Yeah, it's not too bad, not a bad gig at all.
Not a bad gig. I often think of Tyler Morris over at MetLife
Hmm.
because they get, every concert that is trending, they get it. Um, and he had Jonas Brothers this weekend. And for me, growing up in like the Disney Channel era, I was already on like high alert. And then they had like Demi Lovato come out and have
Oh
the
yeah,
reunion of the century. And it was like, he probably doesn't even know what he's experiencing. Like,
yeah,
he might be sleeping in his shop right now, trying to
yeah,
get ready for the overnight conversion. But
exactly.
it is such a unique element of the job that I love. You know, when I try and explain to people what I do, um, it's like, how far are you going to go into it? Like, how are you going to explain, you know, oh, well, we take care of the fields, or, I was talking to Max Casper of the Reno Aces, and he says, I typically lose people at aeration. Like when I say that word, that's when people are out
Oh
there.
yeah,
That's either the entry point of like they want to know more, or they're just like, okay, that's cool.
yeah, yeah. That's
But
that's that's
the
mostly what I get. It's like, oh, you get to paint the field. It's like, yeah, that's part of it, but
yeah,
there's a
that's
lot more to it.
that's one day of the week build up to, game time.
Yep.
Um, and so yeah, your quote unquote off season involved a lot of different really cool events. I saw that you had Monster Jam, Supercross, but the one that was really exciting for kind of everyone that has been following along with the Banana Ball phenomenon is
Hmm.
you guys were the first NFL stadium to host Banana Ball, correct?
Yes.
So you were one of the first to build the baseball field, build the field and they will come type of thing for Banana Ball. What was that experience like? Kind of, navigating, it's this huge phenomenon, but it's also a lot of unknown with what their world tour entails.
Yeah. So that one came up kind of out of nowhere.
Fun.
They were originally supposed to go to Tropicana Field.
Okay.
And when the hurricane removed the roof from Tropicana Field, they had to quickly try to figure out how to reschedule that.
Yeah.
So we were actually out painting the field for the Monday night game last year against Baltimore,
Okay.
and our uh, our VP of operations came walking out to the field and
Okay.
like, hey, when you get the chance, I need you to come speak with me and the CEO of Tampa Sports Authority. And my initial reaction is, this doesn't sound good.
Yep. Yep.
He's like, no, no, we just got to talk about. And he made a motion of like a throwing and swinging a baseball bat.
Okay.
So my mind it immediately goes to the Rays are starting to talk about having their season here, which would be a little difficult.
Yep.
But so he's like, no, it was the Savannah Bananas. So we had basically like 2 or 3 days to try to put together what the cost would be and what would entail to have a baseball field installed. So
Okay.
I reached out to a couple companies that I knew that did it, and also our company that we use here that supplies our side and does our grading. And we were able to get it all together, figure out
Wow.
all the kind of logistics and put together pricing in like 2 or 3 days and get it to the Bananas, and they were able to approve it. And it was for us, it was a new experience because obviously it's not a lot of baseball fields going in on football fields anymore, and it was new for them too because it was their first one.
Very cool.
So we were all learning it together on what we were going to do, just from even where home plate was going to go,
Yeah.
how the wall was going to run. We're pretty down the where what would have been the right field line. We were only like 224 feet, so we had to figure out, all right, what are we going to do to protect the fans down the lines, and how high does that net need to be, and how do we secure it? And we don't, because of our the way our walls are around the stadium, the east and the west side on the sidelines don't have to be padded because they're far enough away that they don't require padding by the NFL.
Okay.
So that threw another wrench in. Obviously, those need to be padded for a baseball game. So we had
Yeah.
to figure out how that was all going to work. And what we were going to do with that. And what we came up with working with the bananas was we actually got bike rack and installed padding on the bike rack and had that weighted down to where it wouldn't move. And because the issue with actually putting pads on the wall, it wasn't very cost effective.
Okay, yeah.
And we also, and most NFL fields are going to have this. You look down the sidelines and there's all kinds of communication and power and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
having to get pads custom made to fit around that stuff, it was just going to be insane.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we made it work. We got it all put in. They were super. They were, I mean, for all aspects, they were easy to work with. You know, they
Wonderful.
the luck we had. I had a background in working in baseball before,
Okay,
so
yes, yes.
I and that's also where the field working for the field builder came in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew what needed to go in, do a baseball field, how to build it, what kind of depth we needed for the clay, and what we could and couldn't get away with.
Yeah.
And so it helped out a lot having that extra background as well. But it
And
was a really fun event. I mean, we'll take them again anytime they want to come back.
I love that. And talk about a challenge, 2, 3 days time to completely, and I'm sure you guys, like you said, you had your own field to be preparing for a game, and you're now having to be like, okay, well, how are we gonna make this happen in a few months' time or whatever that timeline looked like. But I'm sure, that first pitch, that game time feeling was even that more rewarding. Like, look at what we accomplished here to make
Oh,
this happen.
yeah, I mean, we had a completely sold out
So
65,000
cool.
people. Um, it was really cool to see, and everybody was kind of curious, like, how is this going to look? What is the field going to look like? And once we got it in and you saw it, it's like, oh, this actually kind of works. Like
Yes.
it's not a bad look at all. Like we joked that our kind of wall depths that we had, it was kind of their progression of their baseball career. Right field was kind of like junior high, high school level. Then you get out to center field and we're like 420
I
down the
love it.
line, and, or not down line, dead center. And then down left field line, it was 375, 380, something like that. So we were deep from left field to center field, but it was a really fun event. We enjoyed it a lot.
And so we had Adam Varant on the chat last week,
Mhm.
and he is the director of baseball operations for the
Yeah.
Savannah Bananas. Um, and he shared like that a lot of his job when they find out the schedule of where they're going to be going is calling those field managers and kind of just trying to reassure them that, at the end of the day, this is baseball.
Yep.
Like we do some fan first, as they describe it, activities. But at the end of the day, like we want to, have safe and playable conditions for our players, and then they also respect the field because they respect the game as
Mhm.
well. So he said a lot of, his job is just combating some of those misconceptions in that first phone call. What's something that you can tell like other field managers that maybe have the Savannah Bananas on their schedule or, have something like this coming down the line that they could be reassured that this is just another challenge, but it's one that's rewarding and fun.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like you picked on with them, is Adam was here from the jump. Like as the day we started cutting everything out to put it in, he was here and was, Jesse was here. They were all around, but Adam stayed for the whole week. They are very, even though it is kind of they put on a show and they're doing their dancing and all that stuff, they are very respectful of everything, and
Mhm.
all the players were super easy to work with. Their whole front office staff, I mean, anything we try to do everything we can to make it as easy for them, and they worked right with us and tried to do everything to make it easier. Then, I mean, they were out there, they were the ones out there screwing the pads into the bike rack and setting all that stuff up while we were working on the field. And yeah, they were. I was. a little apprehensive of how it was going to go because it's the first one at a stadium. They didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what to expect, but I don't think it could have gone any better than it did. And even from like the standpoint, like their rehearsal day that they have, they try to get through that as quickly as they can.
Hmm.
So it leaves me time to get the field back ready for them for the game after they do their practice and have time to run water and whatever we need to do. So they're very easy to work with. I mean, it's yeah, they have the misconception that oh, it's just a show. They're baseball players. Like the guys that are out there playing, a lot of those guys, almost all of them, played college baseball. A lot
Yeah.
of them were drafted, and like when it's a baseball game. Like they
Yep.
are talented baseball players, and so you can get to that aspect and enjoy that of it. It's
Well, and you can't deny the athleticism. Some of the tricks that they're able
oh
to,
yeah, absolutely.
like, it's insane. It's been so entertaining to follow along with that. And I think, like, a lot of, their brand and their culture that is ingrained in their team and how they are perceived in the world, it seems like it translates to how they work with local grounds crews, where it's really this, like, fan first, players, safety, all those things. But at the end of the day, like they're spreading joy. Like they're
Yep.
not coming in and bulldozing through and being like divas in a
Yeah,
sense.
exactly.
Like it really seems like they have, earned so much of this recognition and reputation because of the way that they are conducting themselves, in this world tour.
Yeah. It even showed too. I mean, they've been coming to Tampa. I want to say when they came, they've been to Steinbrenner, which is the Yankee spring training right across the
Okay.
street from the stadium. It had been the 2 years previous to that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they had a pretty good relationship with all the people over at the Yankees facility, which we do as well. And their relationship that they've built with them and what we have with them, we're a football stadium. We don't
Yeah.
have baseball equipment.
Yeah.
So I was able to borrow screens from the Yankees. I was able to borrow drags and all that stuff. And because of that relationship that they've built with them, they didn't have any issue with it. I mean, they had spring training going on at the same time, and I was able to still get screens from them and have them here for a couple days so they could have practices. And the drag for 3 or 4 days, so I was able to do the work that I needed to do to get conditioner on the field and get it drug in, and that they chalk that we don't have. They let
Yep.
me that so we don't keep any of that stuff. So I was able to work all that out with them, and all they wanted was to come see the field.
I love it. A scrappy endeavor is what and
Yeah.
I think that is so true to a groundskeeper's, DNA is the ability to be adaptive and flexible and scrappy.
Hmm.
But also just how cool is it to play at a spring training facility and then 2 years later be right across the street at this massive stadium and it be a
Oh
sold
yeah,
out crowd. I
yeah,
just love that for them. It's such a cool experience.
yeah. Talking to some of the players, like their bullpens, that was another one we had to get creative where we put bullpens because there's not a lot of space on our sidelines for them. So we actually had their bullpens in like the tunnels to go out to the field, which is one of them's right by my office. So talking to a couple of the pitchers and stuff while they were warming up, they were blown away
Yeah.
by just the amount of people and talking about how cool it was. And yeah, it was fun.
I love that. And so you guys are, well on your way into the season here. You've had some is it called preseason? Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so. Preseason games already happening. What are you looking forward to with the season ahead? What are some things that you're looking to accomplish or some challenges that have you excited for the upcoming season?
So we have two teams here. We have a college team that plays here as well as the Bucks. So we have back-to-back games. When we have back-to-backs, USF isn't able to have their full field painted
Okay.
uh, because of NFL rules. We can't resod anything over 400 square feet 48 hours prior to kickoff.
Okay.
So, but when they have that 48-hour window, they get their full logos. So we have a couple games this year where they have a Thursday night game and we have a Bucks Sunday night game. So
Okay.
we'll remove logos, repaint all that good stuff to get ready for a Bucks game. Um, there is a possibility of we're probably going to have a soccer game in November. So we're going to go
No big
from
deal.
an NFL field, completely replace that field with a blank slate and play a
Wow.
soccer game on it. Um, so it's that what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been announced yet, so I can't say who it is.
No problem.
But it's two teams that we're all pretty excited about seeing getting to play.
So cool. And do you guys have any like World Cup affiliation for the upcoming year?
So we're not hosting any of the World Cup games.
Okay.
We have there is one international team that is talking about using Tampa as kind of their home base for
Okay.
practices.
Very cool.
And if that happens, which it looks like it's probably going to, we'll end up having kind of a warm-up game for them here.
Okay, very
Uh,
cool.
that's another pretty exciting one.
Well,
Another
yes.
one I can't really say who it is, but
No problem.
it
Well, and
should
it
be
looks like you are a soccer fan based on your banner back there. So I'm
yeah.
sure that's a whole nother element for you that is very exciting to experience.
Yes. Yeah, big soccer fan. So last year we had Orlando City and Miami play.
Very cool.
So I got to see Messi, which was
So cool.
pretty fun to watch. That was a challenge too, because that one we actually came, you had mentioned Monster Jam and we had Supercross.
Yeah.
And we came directly out of Supercross and played a soccer game 6 or 7 days after that.
Wow.
So that was a fun one. Um, and to get ready for, you know, not just Messi, but just, a soccer field in general and have to have it as smooth as possible. And, you
All eyes on that game and the fanfare that surrounds it.
yeah. And then, after they had Copa America and there was some stuff said about some of the fields and bumpiness, like it was a challenge. Like we didn't want
Yep.
to be lumped into that, which luckily, everything played really well. I mean, Messi played 75 minutes, so I'm assuming he
Nice.
was pretty happy with everything. Um, so that was a cool one to be able to do.
Very cool. And so how do you get away from it all when you have an overnight conversion or, a jam-packed schedule? What do you do to make sure that you can come back to the challenge refreshed and ready to go? What are those things outside of the work that really keep you grounded or help you, be your best on the field?
So, I mean, the big thing is trying to spend as much time with my wife and daughter as I can.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously being down in Florida and around Tampa, we're an hour and a half from Disney and Universal. So
So cool.
we've got a Disney, or not, excuse me, we don't have Disney, but we have a Universal annual pass. So we
Very
try to
cool.
go there, just try to get away from everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's, we live 30 minutes from some of the best beaches in the country. So
Hmm.
go sit on the beach, um, go fishing, stuff like that. Every once in a while, I'll try to, if I get a break. I'm originally from North Carolina. All my
Okay.
family's back in North Carolina. So if we get, a little bit of break during the season somewhere, got a long weekend, I'll try to make a trip back up there to go see family and just kind of unplug from everything and disconnect the best I can.
Definitely.
And the other good one is like our director is very, and the VP are both very, firm about wanting us to take time off.
Very cool.
So if we have that chance to spend time with our family, they want us to be able to do that. They're concerned, like I mean, they're concerned about us. They don't want us getting halfway through the season and be completely burnt out
Yeah.
and not be able to function properly. So even after this game, this last preseason game we had, I was on the clock for 37 hours.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, they were, at the end of the game, normally we would mow and blow the field. The VP came out there. He's like, just get the bench tarps up and go home. Like you
Yeah.
guys need to go home, get home. So they understand. They get like we all need that time to kind of unplug and just get away. And when we do have time off, they try to avoid sending me any kind of messages as much as possible. Obviously, if something major comes up, you can't help it. But I've got a good crew here too with guys that I can trust. So if I'm gone, my assistant, I can trust him completely that nothing's going to come up he's not going to be able to handle. So we've got guys that have been here for a year. We've got guys that have been here for 20 years.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
we got it all pretty covered well.
Well, we're very much looking forward to following along with this season via social media, but also just through James Halavity. He loves to keep us updated on what everyone in every corner of the world is doing. So I'm
Sure.
very excited to see what you guys have coming down the line. But I appreciate your time today and really appreciate being able to hear like your story, but then also, what you guys have been able to accomplish this past year.
Thank you.
And you're welcome back anytime. I think if we wouldn't have got kicked off of the paid account, Zoom account today, you
Yeah,
and I could have gone probably double time. But I know you have a busy schedule, so we'll cut it here and let you get back to it.
sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Trey, and we hope to talk soon.
Yeah, thank you.